Have you ever noticed something unsettling? The people who seem to hold the most power in a room are rarely the loudest. They don't argue. They don't explain. They don't rush to defend themselves. They withdraw. And when they do, the entire emotional atmosphere shifts. Suddenly, people feel uneasy. They start questioning themselves. They chase clarity. They seek reactions that no longer come. Now, ask yourself this. What would happen if you stopped reacting immediately? If you stopped explaining your intentions, justifying your choices, or proving that you were misunderstood? What would happen if you chose silence instead of impulse, distance instead of emotional exposure? Most people never try this because they've been trained to believe that being available is a virtue, that responding quickly means you care, that explaining yourself makes you mature, that saying yes keeps you connected. But what if that belief is the very thing draining you? When you are always available, emotionally, physically, psychologically, you don't create connection, you create access. And access, when unlimited, becomes control. The moment you withdraw, something breaks, and that's when everything starts to change.
From childhood, you were taught to be present, responsive, helpful. Answer quickly. Be understanding. Don't disappoint. Don't disappear. Your worth slowly became tied to how accessible you were to others. But no one told you the truth. Excessive availability is not generosity, it is self-erasure. When you are always reachable, always reactive, always emotionally open, you become predictable. And predictability is not safety, it is usability. People begin to treat you like an emotional resource. They come when they need validation, comfort, reassurance, attention, and when they're done, they leave. You tell yourself this is connection, but deep down, you feel the exhaustion. You reply even when you are drained. You explain yourself even when no explanation is owed. You stay present even when you feel invisible. Carl Jung spoke about the persona, the mask we wear to be accepted. Overavailability is one of its most dangerous forms. You smile while suffocating. You say it's fine while losing yourself. You stay accessible because you fear rejection more than self-abandonment. And slowly, without realizing it, you disappear from your own life.
Jung did not see the human mind as an endless machine. He saw it as an energy system. Every thought costs energy. Every emotional reaction consumes it. Every unnecessary explanation leaks it. The question is not whether you have energy. The question is whether you are protecting it. Each time you react impulsively to criticism, you spend energy. Each time you engage in pointless conflict, you spend energy. Each time you try to prove your worth to someone who already decided how they see you, you spend energy. And here is the dangerous part. People who are constantly drained don't become weak, they become vulnerable. And vulnerability attracts manipulation. Those who feed on emotional chaos sense when you don't guard your inner space. They know which buttons to press. They know you will react. Jung warned, what you resist persists. The more you react, the more you bind yourself to the dynamic. You replay conversations in your head. You lose sleep over words that shouldn't matter. You keep emotional ghosts alive long after they should have faded. Psychic energy, when protected, creates presence. You don't need to speak much. You don't need to explain yourself. But when it is scattered, you become reactive, fragile, invisible. This is not about becoming cold. It is about becoming selective.
Most people believe manipulation is loud. It isn't. The most effective manipulation is quiet. It works through guilt, through obligation, through your fear of disappointing others. Jung described projection, the process by which people place their unresolved inner conflicts onto others. When you are emotionally available without boundaries, you become the perfect surface for projection. People don't relate to you. They relate to the role you play, the rescuer, the listener, the emotional anchor. And you accept the role because you fear abandonment. But here is the truth. The manipulator does not need to control you. They only need you to keep reacting the same way. The moment you stop reacting, the structure collapses.
Silence breaks projections. Distance dissolves false roles. And this is why people become irritated when you withdraw, not because you changed, but because you stopped being functional for them. Your unavailability forces them to face themselves, and not everyone can tolerate that.
The modern world is loud. Everyone wants to respond. Everyone wants the last word. Everyone wants to be right. But silence, conscious silence, is disruptive. Not the silence of avoidance, the silence of awareness. When you stop reacting, you begin to observe. Patterns emerge. Games become visible. People panic when they lose narrative control. As long as you explain yourself, you are still inside the game. When you stop, you change the rules. Silence is not absence, it is amplified presence. Jung believed that individuation, becoming whole, requires distance from the collective noise. Silence costs something. You will be misunderstood. You will be labeled distant. You will lose those who only valued your accessibility. But maturity teaches you this. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Sometimes silence is not retreat. It is sovereignty.
At first, withdrawal feels uncomfortable. Guilt appears. Doubt arises. You wonder if you are being selfish. Then something changes. Silence becomes clarity. Solitude becomes grounding. This is not loneliness. This is presence without betrayal. Jung taught that individuation requires temporary isolation, not to escape life, but to return to oneself. When you stop being available to everyone, you stop being shaped by external demands. You lose roles, you lose illusions, you lose people, but you regain yourself. And something remarkable happens. You become rare, you become grounded, you become respected, even if by fewer people. Because when you are no longer available for emotional crumbs, you become whole. And that is when everything truly changes.